Welcome Star Wars fans to the Hyperspace Database. I'm Jonesy the Mandalorian, your host here with today's topic, the Fanblade Starfighter. The Genevex class, or Geonosian Fanblade Starfighter, was developed by the Huplapaza Tisk Shipwrights Collective, and was flown by the Sith apprentice Asajj Ventress during the Clone Wars. The ship was 13 meters long, and was capable of reaching 1,250 kilometers per hour in atmospheric flight with its rare air scoop thrusters. It was equipped with a Class 1 hyperdrive and deflector shields, and was armed with 2 wingtip-mounted laser cannons. While not very heavily armed or armored, the great benefit of this ship was in its speed, which due to its narrow frame and solar sail enabled it to make incredibly tight turns and acrobatic loops with relative ease. The Fanblade fighter was gifted to Asajj Ventress to use in her command duties for the Confederacy of Independent Systems, and interestingly, there were only 6 of them created for her, and she had a few of them stolen over the course of the Clone Wars. The ship was pretty rare, and also quite expensive, much like the Solar Sailor used by Count Dooku. It only had room for 1 pilot, and the cockpit sat right out in front of the ship, exposing it to laser fire and other hazards that were often deflected using its reinforced deflector shields. The solar sail could be retracted to further enhance the narrow profile of the ship, but this limited the ship's deflector shield capabilities, and this mode was primarily utilized for landings and takeoffs only, though it could still fire its laser cannons in landing mode. The Genevex Fanblade fighter was most famously seen during the Clone Wars conflict, in the Tartakovsky animated Clone Wars limited series, and the animated Clone Wars TV show after that. In the Tartakovsky Clone Wars series, Ventress used the Genevex to attack the Republic forces off the planet Munalinst, and destroyed many V-19 Torrent fighters before being engaged by Anakin Skywalker in his modified Delta VII fighter, the Azure Angel. Anakin flew down Ventress and the Genevex starfighter in a heated battle above the skies in orbit, and then in a dangerous chase through the city streets of Munalinst, much to the chagrin of Obi-Wan Kenobi, who was leading the ground forces, counting on Anakin to lead the space battle. After being instructed not to follow the ship anymore, seeing that he was being baited by Ventress, Obi-Wan watched helplessly as Anakin jumped to hyperspace following the mysterious fighter, and then instructed a squad of clone troopers to follow the wayward Jedi apprentice. Anakin followed the ship to the planet Yavin 4, and after attempting to hunt down the mysterious adversary, found himself confronting the assassin, after she had destroyed all of Anakin's reinforcements and both of the ships that had brought them there. The heated lightsaber battle that followed spanned many miles of the jungles of Yavin 4, from leaping to and fro through the treetops to battling for higher ground on the steps of the Massassi temples. The fight reached a climax on the highest peak of the ancient temple, and after giving in briefly to his anger, Anakin prevailed and Ventress fell into the abyss. Anakin then took the Fanblade fighter and returned to Munalinst, where he met the harsh disappointment of his master. The Fanblade fighter would later be seen in the 3rd season of the animated Clone Wars TV show, where Ventress led a strike force of separatist droid tri-fighters against Anakin Skywalker's flagship the Resolute over the planet Sullust. Ventress chased Obi-Wan Kenobi through the hectic battlefield, and managed to score several hits on his Delta VII fighter, though due to her persistence, she did not see Anakin flank her and damage her ship from the other side of the cruiser. This led to both Obi-Wan and Ventress crash landing aboard a Separatist cruiser, where the Jedi dueled Ventress before being fired on by the Separatist forces. Although the fighter was basically scrapped at this point, Ventress was able to limp it out into space before the CIS command ship exploded, though it left her unconscious, where she was then rescued by scrappers, who got more than they bargained for when she took over their ship and flew it to the planet Dathomir to see Mother Talzin. Here's a fun fact about the Genevex fighter. One of the ships that Ventress had was called the Last Call, named as a not-so-subtle reminder that Dooku was tired of replacing the expensive ships, after Ventress had 2 of them stolen previously. Ironically, this model was also lost to Ventress when a prisoner set the ship to self-destruct on the planet Findar in the Legends novel Yoda: Dark Rendezvous. The Genevex class Fanblade fighter was an extremely fast, maneuverable fighter that Asajj Ventress used very effectively against the Jedi and the forces of the Republic. And were it not for her fall from the favor of the Sith, she may have flown the deadly ships to the end of the Clone Wars and beyond. Want to know more about Star Wars topics like this one? Stick around to the end for some secret trivia, hit those like and subscribe buttons, and the bell to be notified every time I publish a new video. Be sure to chat with me in the comments too, I love hearing from you guys. Super special shout out to my Gold Captain level Patreon supporters Matthew Scott, Nick Sutphin, and Miss 2003. Your support is super helpful in keeping the show going. Thank you guys so very much. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.